Hello, everyone. I'm Mr. Freak. I'm the community specialist here on Stellaris. I'm here today with a few of the modders from ModJam 2024,
Hello.
Hello.
Hey,
who are going to be talking about their submissions to the ModJam. But first, what is a ModJam? Back in December, we asked modders to sign up to make a thing. We had over 100 modders sign up for a 4-week challenge to make an unknown-themed mod for Stellaris. This year's sponsor is Republic of Gamers, and the top prize is an ROG Strix G17 laptop. And this year's theme is Legendary Leaders. In total, we had over 100 modders sign up, and our modders added 26 new Legendary Leaders with the ModJam mod. These leaders are available now on the Steam Workshop. So without further ado, why don't you introduce yourselves?
Hi everyone, I'm Micah, but I'm better known as EzraNeilson on YouTube and Discord. I have a small YouTube channel and it's mostly for Stellaris content.
Hi, so my name on the internet at least is Evereal, and I come from down under Australia. I emerge once every year to participate in ModJam, and in real life I'm an astrophysicist.
So, hello. My username is Pat. My name is Juan, and I'm a student and a big fan of Paradox. And I modded Mictla, the Whispering Aggregation, in ModJam 2024.
Yeah, you know me as Tree. I made the Avon mod, or leader. I'm currently in my Master Computer Science studies. Yeah, and Exam phase is approaching, and I'm not ready for it.
You'll probably know me as Jin2188. I am the creator of Daniel Reinhard.
Why don't you tell us a little bit about your submission?
So I made a leader called the Fragment, who was heavily inspired by the Aeon 14 universe and Mass Effect Andromeda. Basically, the Fragment is a small piece of a larger superintelligence that was used to explore the galaxy, and when you help the intelligence out of the galaxy, one of the Fragment is part of that intelligence that stays behind, and it offers to help you expand in the galaxy and just continue, but it may not be there just to help you.
Cool. So my submission is a lad called the Jailer. In a very original fashion, he's the last of his species and is in charge of the last remaining vestige of his people, an enormous prison the size of a megastructure. And inside that megastructure, most of the prisoners or convicts have long since passed, except one unknown entity that the jailer calls the final convict. An entity so powerful it has to be trapped inside a star.
Yes, okay. So I created Mictla, Whispering Aggregation. She is, or they are, a group of molecules and cells that reside within one of your species leaders. They're some sort of parasite. They have a lot of power and a lot of knowledge, and maybe your empire will see some value in praising that knowledge and praising that parasite as some kind of divine figure.
Like I said, his name is Avon, which is Latin for roundabout eternity. And yeah, he's supposed to be a chronomancer guy. He freezes time, he advances time, he skips time, which he really doesn't like. And of course, he wastes your time. There are two parts in my submission. Yeah, a part where you meet him, where he gives you quests, like I think there are 4 of them. And there's the second part after you acquired him, in what way or in some way or other. And there he just messes with you. He like sends you some events where you can skip certain things.
My leader is a psionic-focused leader, which is not uncommon in this mod jam, since there seems to be a lot of leaders that are focused on psionic mechanics. I don't find that to be a bad thing, because I think psionic mechanics are personally really cool. my leader has his own agenda, though. I've always enjoyed the trope of playing the bad guys in Stellaris, and it's my hope that this leader will serve to boost that fantasy a little bit.
So what made you make this leader for the Mod Jam?
It was a little bit of a mix of me just wanting to challenge myself. I actually originally, it's kind of funny, I thought it was going to be something with megastructures because, they have the whole you had the whole gigastructures in the background, and right away it was like, how on earth am I going to do this? But I thought it would be a really good modding challenge to just force myself to come up with something. And I've always wanted to make a bigger mod, and this was definitely one of my bigger mods. And it was the reason I did that in general was I had a few ideas, but that one was the one that I was like, this one I probably can do in 4 weeks.
So I sat down, and I always like the idea of an eternal, a lonely, and benevolent guardian, a common trope that pops up in sci-fi and fantasy from time to time. So the idea that this leader has been around for a long time and is protecting the galaxy from some cosmic danger. And in my inspiration that I submitted for the the dev diary, I referenced Rise from League of Legends as a character with a kind of similar motive and backstory, that they're so obsessed with protecting the world or the universe from this threat that they have become very lonely. And I also wanted to make a malleable character who seeks redemption. So redemption is a common character motivation. And by malleable, I mean, what is his real name? You decide. What is his personality? Well, you can decide that as well. The jailer is a character with a story, but whatever he becomes is up to you.
Yes, so, well, there was, I think, match between two things. One, that I'm not a very good artist, so I knew that making a portrait would be a high task. Second, I've been reading a lot of science fiction books, and one that caught my attention recently was Adrian Tchaikovsky's Children of Time trilogy. And I got really inspired by how alien he writes about extraterrestrial life, and I wanted to create something that captured that same almost eeriness and horror and strangeness of the alien.
Well, before the mod jam began, I already had the idea of some weird time shenanigans. I felt like they somehow, this is the empty spot and the niche spot in Stellaris. And leaders plus time shenanigans make Chronomancer, I guess.
I've had the idea of this leader in my head for a long time. Before I even started playing Stellaris, I've had this idea of wanting to make my own sort of story and IP. And I've had the idea of this character in my head for a while now as the main antagonist.
What other mods have you made, or have you made any other mods?
I have made a few other mods. On my YouTube channel, I do mostly modding tutorials for Stellaris, and I've got a few series up. On my Steam Workshop, though, it's kind of not very much. It's mostly megastructures. I'm working on one with Matryoshka brains, but other than that, not really much.
So I participated in the last iteration of the Mod Jam, and my submission to there was the Prime Flesh. But other than that, the only mod I've made is Solar Storm, which is a kitchen sink of a variety of different ideas I've had over a long period of time. So there's a whole load of Ascension perks, another Crisis, and some other random stuff thrown in, and I've been just experimenting and maintaining that for, I think, 3 to 4 years now, something like that.
Yes, so technically speaking, before I applied, I hadn't submitted any mods. But years ago, I made some mods that added some traits for the different classes of species that haven't had that much love, like reptiles, mammals. Now I have uploaded it. It's called Unique Class Traits in Steam. It has very few traits that improve on avians and reptiles.
I made some quality changes for myself, never published, of course. There would be too high quality for the workshop. Yeah, the only bigger one I made was an Origin mod, where you start with an ancient forge to craft your own relics. I think it's called Smiths of the Relic Forge. And yeah, lastly I made a quality mod for habitats, where you can assemble all orbitals at once without needing to click every planet.
I haven't published any significant mods. The only one that I have uploaded is a small one that allows scions to become custodians, and that one's hopelessly out of date. So
How long have you been playing Stellaris?
Ooh, I've been playing, I think it's 5 or 6 years now. I bought it just before Synthetic Dawn dropped.
Well, let's say that I've been around since 01 Embassy Propose, and I remember that naked corvettes were the #1 military strategy, which is, as far as I can remember, is the very beginning since it was released.
Oh wow! I think I played Stellaris back when it released, really back in 1.0, when my laptop could barely run it, and I've been playing ever since.
I think I started in the first year, first anniversary of Stellaris.
I don't remember exactly when I started playing, but I know I've been playing it for a while. I remember something, I think it was 2.7 was the update when I started playing. And now it's 3.10, so I've been at it for a while.
What's your favorite type of empire to play?
Ooh, I love machine empires. Just like I said, Synthetic Dawn, so they're like really well integrated into the game. I also like that I don't have to manage food and consumer goods. That's always a plus, because there's kind of a lot to do in the game. So just having those two, not have to do anything with those two, is kind of fun.
So when I play Stellaris, I mainly play it with friends. So I love to play a criminal syndicate, so I can tap my fingers evilly as they drown in crime and complain about their trade value being stolen.
Oh, that's an easy one. My favorite empire is Inward Perfectionist and and I forget the origin name, Voidborn.
Oh, nice.
Inward Perfectionist Voidborn. I like the efficiency. I like not wasting resources in war, just growing. I find it really fun.
Whatever lets me stack a bazillion pops on one or some planets, only a handful. I don't want to manage like a billion planets.
Fine. Okay.
Take your time.
Okay. Contrary to the fantasy I wanted to promote with this leader, I actually enjoy playing the good guys more than the bad guys. I like the idea of playing as a sort of mentor empire that's figured everything out and wants to help other empires reach the same level. It just seems it's a fantasy I enjoy.
If you could add one thing to Stellaris, scope was not a factor and the devs would do all the work, what would it be?
Okay, this one might be interesting. I would re-add the warp and wormhole FTLs back into the game.
I've recently become obsessed with this indie game called Mechabellum, which is an auto battler. It's a load of fun, really addictive as well. But I really enjoy the simplicity and how everything is carefully designed when it comes to combat in that game. How each unit that you can place in this auto battler is so specialized that it succeeds clearly in one area and fails in a completely different area. And if I had a chance to rework a significant part of Stellaris, I would give a stab at reworking the military and combat system so that there's loads more specialization in combat, so that you might end up in a scenario where you go, I clearly lost because my opponent was doing X.
I think the one thing I would like to see in Stellaris is a DLC dedicated to boarding battles, so that you could board enemy ships and have some kind of interaction there, some kind of origin or traits or civics that specialize on it. That would be amazing.
Well, I thought about that, but I couldn't find anything, to be honest. There are always these small issues, like this little refinement, this little bit of polishing. I think I would love to have like a small livestock rework. Livestock currently sits in a weird position where it's worse than slaves and worse than purging, and you can't. It's not worth it.
That is a very tricky question. I really do. There's a lot of. I like the game as it is, but I still do think there's a lot of stuff that could be added to make it even better. One thing I think I would focus on, though, is fleet battles and ground combat. Just combat in general.
Thanks everybody for watching. Be sure to like and subscribe to Stellaris Official on YouTube so that you get more content like this. Thank you for all the modders. Spent their holidays making submissions for the Mod Jam. There are 26 legendary leaders like this added in total. It should be a great time. Go look it up now on the Steam Workshop. Bye everybody.
Bye.
Bye.